next time something happens to you that is not the best case scenario or goes unplanned or ruins your plans, what are you going to do about it? What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the High Vibe Podcast. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that is very fresh in this moment, and that is your bounce back rate. If you don't know what your bounce back rate is, this is something that Tony Robbins talks about, and I would like to open this podcast episode with a quote that I heard him say, and the quote is, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." Because we're human, living in a human experience, you are going to undergo things that are uncomfortable, that cause frustration, that cause anger, that cause hurt. Circumstances and situations are going to be thrown at you. Life is just going to happen. And there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to suffer if you want to hold on to resentment, anger, frustration, hurt, all of those things. And over the years, I have really take an inventory on how fast I bounce back from those things, those obstacles, whenever you're doing something. And I'm going to give you a couple examples, my personal examples that happened within the last couple of weeks, and what I did to really help myself get back on track. I used to let things really bother me. Like if something shitty happened to me, it would like ruin my day. My whole day was shot. I would just be like, tomorrow's a new day. I'm just giving up. I'm throwing in the towel. And I would waste a whole freaking day over one thing that happened to me, whether it be big or small. Now, I'm not talking about ignoring real feelings that you need to go through, like processing grief or death of a loved one or anything like that. Whenever some type of trauma happens, there is a period where you need to grieve and mourn. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about those small, insignificant things that you blow up out of proportion and you let it ruin your present moment, your quality of life. Sometimes it's not even things that are happening right now. It's something that could happen in the future that you're disappointed or frustrated about, or something that you found out about the past. Sometimes it doesn't even have to do with the present moment, and yet you're letting it affect your present moment in a negative way. You're letting it ruin your current state and your mindset and your ability to get things done, to thrive, to be happy, to be joyful, and all of those things. So since this is called the High Vibe Podcast, we're going to talk about how to get that vibe back when those things happen. This whole podcast, with video, with audio, with all of the new tech and software that we're using, there have been a lot of glitches, a lot of lost audio, a lot of hiccups, and a lot of opportunities for me to just quit or give up, or my day or week been ruined. So one of the examples that I have is when I was first launching this podcast, I wanted to launch it in April, which I think I did launch it in April. I don't know. I'd have to look back. Anyways, I really wanted to get a few episodes out, and I recorded them. I did a Q&A. I did my whole story video. I did the Adderall video. And those 3 videos, except for my story video, because I had to redo that one, when I opened up the audio files, so we recorded the audio file and the video file separately. And when I imported the audio file, it just disappeared. The audio files did not get recorded. And we always have a backup mic on our camera, but it is not the same as the Yeti mic. Like, it is not the same as a professional microphone. It is more so for like vlogging and on the go, and to really just like sync the sounds. So I lost the audio on those videos, and it was super frustrating. And before that happened, I did a personal Q&A video that has not been launched yet. But when I did that personal Q&A video, I went back and I was going through some of the footage because the camera died right in the middle of the Q&A, like towards the very, very end. I think I was on the last question. I went to go change the battery and turn it back on, and there was like some test footage in there. And I was at like minute 55. Like, I spent a whole hour on this Q&A. And good old dumb me accidentally deleted the file on the SD card right then and there. The whole the whole thing. It was a total accident. Didn't mean to do it. Deleted that whole video. Gone. And I was so upset about it. I was like, I can't believe I just did that, because there's so many moments in that Q&A. Like a lot of it was just all spontaneous, all random. I never looked at the questions, and I was just, it was all gone. Couldn't get it back. And I was devastated. I laid on the floor in my kitchen wanting to cry, wanting to just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Like literally, I couldn't believe it happened. Especially because it was a full hour and the sun was going down. I was going to lose the light. I did the whole hair and makeup thing because now I'm doing video podcasts. And I just took 3 deep breaths and I kept on saying, I got this. I'm going to redo it. Everything's going to be okay. And that's just what felt good to me in the moment, taking 3 deep breaths, because usually what happens is when you get angry or frustrated or upset, your breath tends to be really, really shallow. You're not breathing. You're not taking deep breaths. You're not centering yourself. And that just like anxiety and all that stuff continues to build up. So I got silent. I took 3 deep breaths. And I said, let's freaking go. And I sat down and I re-recorded that episode. And I just let it go. I really wanted to cry and I just let it go. And I re-recorded that episode. The next few days, I opened it up to then edit it, and the audio was gone of that recording. So I already lost the first original file, re-recorded it again right after, and then lost the audio file. And that day, I mean, that bounce back rate in that moment was really, really difficult for me, because I already felt like, man, like what else are you gonna freaking throw at me? Like I already redid this video podcast and now that happens. What I've realized is that having that unproductive, like why is this happening to me? Oh, woe is me type of mentality, it doesn't serve you or get you anywhere. Being pissed off for the whole day, like what is that actually gonna do for me other than ruin my day and make me pissed off the rest of the day? Right? It's not going to do anything. It's not moving anything forward. It's not moving my life forward. It's not getting me any closer to my goals or where I want to be. And so I have learned how to really just like get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, get back up, and do it really, really fast and really effectively. And one of the tools is through breath. Taking those deep breaths in that moment that I wanted to just cry, like I really just wanted to cry, taking those deep breaths, giving myself some positive affirmations, changing my mindset, changing the way I looked at the situation, and getting right back into it. That's my first tool to help me bounce back. My bounce back rate is usually anywhere from 30 seconds. Sometimes some things take me 30 minutes. So I'm going to talk about the next example that took me a little bit longer. And that one was a few days ago with my couples Q&A. So the couples Q&A podcast episode that was also a video podcast was a nightmare to get out. Complete nightmare. My laptop is a little bit older and it takes a little bit longer. And when I say a little bit longer, I mean a lot longer to export things. When I'm exporting a 10-minute video, it takes hours. When I'm exporting a 30-minute video, it took 2 full days. 2 full days that I couldn't access my laptop. I couldn't do anything on my laptop. So I felt like I was really losing a lot of time. Obviously, I need to upgrade my laptop, and that is happening, and we're in the works of that. But anyways, I digress. So with that, it took 2 full days to export. I wanted to get it out on Sunday. That's my goal, is to get a new episode out every Sunday. And it exported. I woke up the next morning after 2 nights, and I opened up the file, and it's just a dead file. There's nothing in it. Absolutely nothing. Won't play. It's just a corrupt file. Had a mini breakdown for a second, breathed, asked for help because there wasn't any way that I could do it on my laptop again. So I asked Garrett to export it on his. That still took about 15 hours to export. And when it exported the next day, finally on Sunday, he was like, it's ready. And I went to go upload it straight to YouTube. Like I took it straight from his laptop, went to upload it to YouTube, and he was like, wait, the intro and outro aren't in there. You're going to have to re-export it with the intro and outro. And I was so upset because at this point, it's taken 72 hours to export this freaking file. And for him to not export the intro and outro with the whole video. Like now we had to re-export the intro and the outro with the video file. I was fuming. Like I was so pissed because I was ready to upload that video right then and there. And that caused a fight. I'm just going to be real. Like I was so upset. I was like fuming because, and not necessarily at Garrett, just at the whole situation of how long it took for this video to get exported. I was so mad. I was planning on having a very nice Sunday morning where I was just going to upload my video, do some yoga, get work done. And at this point, my whole morning was like completely shot. Everything did not go as planned. Like just complete disaster. Like a tornado ran through our house. And I was like, change of plans. So I went out of the intro and outro. Garrett went to go re-export it, which it took another 45 minutes to re-export that with the intro and outro of that video. And I went outside and I went for a run. I was like, I need to go for a run. I need to get all of this anger and this energy and this frustration. I need to get it out. And I know for me, one of the things that really helps me when I'm really angry, it takes a good amount to get me really angry. I'm not someone that gets really angry, but I was pissed. And movement is medicine. It helps so much, just like get that energy out of my body and just put it out there. So I took Bonbon, I put my headphones in, I put on my favorite playlist. That's just like my favorite songs, like super high vibe. And I just ran. I ran about 3, maybe even 4 miles. I just ran the whole time. And I came back and about halfway through the run, I was already better. Halfway through the run, I already just got everything out, all of the anger, all of the frustration, all of the just pissed off emotions. I got it out in that run in the first 15 minutes. And the rest was just reappreciating the gratitude, coming back to apologize to Garrett about how pissed off I was. And it just completely changed my state. So second tip, when life throws curveballs at you, when shit inevitably hits the fan, movement is medicine. Getting that heart rate up, whatever you can do, whether it's jumping rope, yoga sometimes helps. But for me, I needed to do something a little bit more high intensity. So like riding a bike, going for a swim, something that really makes you break a sweat and gasping for air, like getting that heart rate up, going for a run makes a huge difference. It could be even going for a walk if you're not super, super active. But doing something to change your heart rate, change your physical state will help you change your mental state. So that's the second thing that I do is I move and I get that heart rate up, and it really helps me get all of that emotion that is just building up out, because you don't want to hold on to it. You need to release it. And so I wanted to share those 2 stories because I feel like they're super relatable. We all have those papers that just get deleted, that thing that you work so hard on and your computer crashes. That happens to everyone. Like life happens, or even if it's from outside forces, from people saying something to you or people doing something to you, right? There's always those opportunities for you to be pissed off, hurt, angry, frustrated, sad, mad, all of the things. And I want you to hopefully just think about, how long do you typically sit in that state? How long, when something bad happens to you, how long do you typically stay in that low vibrational state? Is it 30 minutes? Is it a full day? Is it like the whole week? And what do you do in those situations? Do you go for a glass of wine? Do you grab a beer? Do you just like lay on the couch and watch TV and numb out? What are the things that you usually do? Like, what are your coping mechanisms when those bad things happen to you? Journal that out. Think about it. Get honest with yourself. You know, I used to just grab a glass of wine whenever stuff got hard. Like you have a hard day, you just have a drink, right? That is kind of like a normalized thing, but is it really helping you and really serving you? And I know for me, it wasn't. Hopefully this podcast episode makes you really think about that and reflect about that, and think next time something happens to you that is not the best case scenario or goes unplanned or ruins your plans, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let it ruin your whole day, your night, your week? Or are you going to bounce back as soon as possible? Are you going to bounce back within minutes? Because the faster that you can bounce back, you guys, like that is the secret. That is the thing that you need to really become an expert at, because it's your life at the end of the day and you only get one. And how much of your life do you want to wither away feeling like shit, right? No one wants to do that. I hope that this podcast and this little episode helps you think about that. I hope you journal it out. And next time you're in one of those states when shit hits the fan, breathe, move, and readjust your mindset. Change it. You have the power to. All right? I love you guys. I'll see you next time.